Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Whatever. SteamWorld Dig, a fistful of dirt, often just SteamWorld Dig, is I'm not entirely sure what genre to place it in, probably something like a platformer digger. Anyways, it is developed by Image Informed Games and was originally released on the Nintendo 3DS in 2013, but has later been ported over to these systems. So wherever you prefer to play, you are probably good on this one. The game puts you in the shoes of Rusty, a steambot arriving in the nearly abandoned mining town of Tumbleton after receiving a message from his uncle. There, he learns that his uncle has been gone for some time and sets out to explore his old mine. From here on out, the story takes a major backseat and is basically non-existing for the rest of the game. So, what do you do in Dig? Digging mostly. Some platforming and a little bit of rudimentary combat. The game claims to have a strong Metroidvanian influence on its Steam page, and while I can see where that statement comes from, as you throughout the game collect upgrades that give you new ways of interacting with the world, I don't think the label fits entirely, as you do virtually no exploring in the game. If you head down, you're heading in the right direction, and the game gives you an arrow pointing you the right way. To the people who have already played the game before watching this, yes. I know that there are one time near the end of the game that you have to backtrack a little, but that's not really important when describing the game in general terms, is it? Neither does the game give you a good sense of exploration either, and I chalked this up to two of the game's 3 biomes looking so familiar. Not exactly a night and day difference, right? To be fair, I will say that the game's 3rd biome, that I won't spoil here, is very different and something I can definitely see sparking the interest of first-time Dig players. Of course, the different biomes doesn't just have different graphics, but also different enemies and environmental hazards. Here you'll find much of the same story. The 3rd biome is good and really feels and plays like a strange new world, while the 2nd pretty much plays like a continuation of the 1st. When it comes to the game's graphics, I must admit that I find them kind of ugly. I especially find Dorothy's, the steambot buying ore from you, model extremely ugly. But I don't hold that much against the game. While actually playing, the ugliness of the graphics blend to the background for me, and they are very functional. You easily see what everything is. So, back to gameplay. The thing you'll be doing the most of in Dig is, as the name implies and as already said, digging, or well, mining. But let's not get hung up on specifics. You swing your pickaxe through the game's destructible environment, collecting ore, fighting monsters and dodging environmental hazards until your bag is full. Then you return to the surface to sell these off and buy whatever upgrade to your kit you can afford. It's a fun enough loop. The game took me 3 hours and 15 minutes to beat, and I did find it wearing thin by the end of the game, causing me to just keep on digging down instead of returning up to sell my ore, instead leaving it on the ground. That said, I did beat the game in only 2 sittings, and thinking back on the game now, I wouldn't mind another go in the mine. So, even though it's a shorter game, I think I would recommend that you play through it in multiple sittings, so that you don't get tired of it. The other major gameplay pillar of Dig is when you enter let's call them caves. Here you'll find a platforming and or puzzle challenge to complete for a reward, that being a new piece of kit or some resources. These are good and a fun distraction from the core mining loop, but I did find the platforming controls a little bit too floaty for my taste, and I never did feel like I had complete control over Rusty. So let's sum it up. How good of a game is SteamWorld Dig? Well, if you fall in love with the core gameplay loop, I can see you getting a lot of fun out of this game, but I personally just didn't. And at that point, Dig just doesn't have a lot to offer. So while I can see why some people really like the game, I just can't give it a higher rating than 3 out of 6.